clock is ticking on my snot nose coughs. It's like once I clear it out, I'm like, okay, I'm good for 10 minutes. And then it just...
Then there it is.
Yeah. It's miserable.
Well, you're leveling up, so it's purging.
I know. You are too.
Oh, no doubt. I came out of my little quarantine feeling like a new person.
Your
though.
little quarantine. I thought y'all were extinct. I hadn't heard from all y'all in like a week or something.
We felt extinct, dude. Oh, man, it was bad. It was so bad. There is nothing that I dislike more than Zach and I being sick at the exact same time. I mean, like death sick, where we both were running fevers, both laying in bed, and Bexley not being sick.
Dang.
I mean, she was sick.
Yeah.
I mean, she had like fever.
Yeah, but she's unstoppable.
Yo, she had unlimited energy. And she was just... She is wonderful.
Yeah.
But full of energy.
Oh, yeah.
And she had like achy... I like it. This is horrible. But if I'm sick and like having to like not get out of my bed...
Yeah.
I really like it when Bexley is also sick and not able to get out of the bed.
Yeah, the playing field's level.
Yeah. I'm like, just like, lay down. And she's like, okay.
Oh.
No, not now.
Not this time.
Oh, it was like, outside.
Yeah.
Outside.
Huh.
I'm like, I can't. And it's too cold. And it's raining. It was intense.
Well, Kelsey got it, soon after. As I started to recover, Kelsey got it. Kyla unscathed by the sickness, but she got poison ivy on her face.
Oh, no.
So she came home with that. Some kids in her class had it somewhere, and then she comes home and has it. Those kids just touch everything. It's like gross. but anyways, but she did good. I was like, don't scratch it. I had it once, and then I never had it again because I remember what it looked like. I prayed for Christopher. Because Christopher gets it every day.
Yeah.
Just about. But I prayed for him, it was a couple years ago. And I put my hand on it. Like right on it and prayed for it. And I didn't get poison ivy. And his is awful every time he gets it. If you haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. It's disgusting.
The one he has now looks like some horrible, like burns or something.
Yikes.
Yeah, not cool. Not cool.
Listen, Zach sent a text. I don't remember who he texted, but he was like, I did all of my Hyundai Shundai, should have bought a Hyundai, and this crap's still here. He was like, I think my prayers don't work.
Yeah. I was frustrated with it. I'm like, seriously?
But I decided, well, I have this strong belief. Do you want to do the intro?
Welcome to the ancient way. I'm James.
Marlia. You never know.
Yeah.
No, so I have this really strong belief, and it builds every time I get sick, that it is a moment in time where your body is communicating. It's time to let something go.
Yeah.
And it's time to level up. I really do believe it. And you can go into germ theory, you can go into terrain theory, you can whatever. I still think the terrain theory is correct. But yeah, it's just like, I'm not afraid of germs. So every time something shows up, whether it's cold, COVID, whatever, it's my body saying, let something go. Like either it's a mindset that I've been carrying that's been weighing me down. It's I've been putting my hands to too many things that I need to let go. Yeah. One thing or another. There's something old that is shedding. And when you start to see it that way, like I kind of welcomed the sickness. Yeah. Like I remember I was running a horrible fever. My body's convulsing. I'm having to get in the bath and I can't see at all because my head is just pulsating. Yeah. And I literally start getting into this like mindful thankfulness where I'm like, oh, my body's healing right now. Yeah. Everything that's uncomfortable and everything that's purging. Yeah. Because I mean, I was in a head spin for a long time. Like, I don't know if anybody else has that where like when you're really, really sick, you think the world is ending. My husband and I, My husband's way worse, but it's kind of funny. He can't handle anything, but anyways, it's just like you can kind of get into a mind trap.
Yeah.
But I went into this place of like Thanksgiving and I could feel the sickness. This sounds weird, but like accelerate. I could feel it start moving more and I could feel it like I could literally feel my cells starting to turn over.
Yeah.
After that, like moment experience in the bathtub, finally, after like 3 days, my headache snapped. I didn't have a headache anymore.
Yeah.
It was like paralyzing where I couldn't even put my contacts in. I was like everything just hurt.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Gross.
yeah. But I think sickness is just like it's knocking on our door.
Well, it seems like one of those things that we can apply to the fire or the steadfastness. It seems like that moment is there's something to be had in it. Like, yeah. And you told me that, I guess a couple of days ago. But Kelsey made the point. She said, you only get sick like this when you start doing too many things. And I think she's right. She's onto something.
Yeah.
It's when it happens and it's like, James, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
But doing so much, like, yeah.
But I think it's putting our hands to things that we feel like we have to. It doesn't inspire us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I have to go do this thing. I have to go have this meeting. I have to go.
Well, mine this time, and I have realized it, this time, I haven't felt that way specifically. But for me, it's been more of like, almost like an autopilot. Like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and this, and it's like autopilot is the best way I can describe it. So I'm not rushed about it or urgent, but it's just like a little system of like going through the motions.
Yeah, it's like you just get on a track.
Yeah.
And you don't take a second to actually like kind of what we were talking about a long time ago when the Lord told me like ask about your day.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to do today?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it's when you get out of that, out of that alignment of just kind of letting your life slow down, that I think things will kind of explode.
Yeah.
I don't mean explode in a bad way, just
right.
Like people get sick.
Yeah.
I think, Yeah.
Well, he's been waking me up at specific times. And it's just like I wake up and I will have a very clear directional thought. And I'm like, this never happens. I sleep like a baby every night. But this has happened twice this week. And I'll just tell both of them. First one, I woke up and there are some, there's some people that I deal with up here and I have like plans and stuff. They're sleazy con artists, maybe. The way they operate is a sleazy way. And I'm not concerned with it because I know it's just so garbage that it will cave in on itself, whatever, But I woke up with just the thought of these people. I was like, I was just laying in bed. I was like, I woke up at 3:39 and I woke up. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. This doesn't eat my lunch. And then I was like, well, you obviously want me to do something about it. So I'm going to pray. I'm going to dismantle any of their plans that may bring harm to people or may steal. I guess that's it. Rob people. So I'm like, Lord, smash those plans, let it cave in on itself. I just know it will. And then he was like, that's fine. He told me, he's like, you can dismantle their plans and cancel, the bad stuff. It's like, or you can jump straight to the end and see them the way I do. See them for the fullness, and love them and speak that into them and just cut all the corners and go straight to the end. And I was like, holy crap, dude, you're right. And so I did. And I started to feel the love for these people. I started to see them as like children, and I started to see their lives. I'm like, this person was a baby at one time, and they grew up and they've been through these things. They have a family. I started to see the entire picture, and I felt the love for these people.
So much compassion.
And I spoke that into them, and then I went to sleep. It's so funny. And the 339, I mean, I'm like Googled 339 in the Bible looking for stuff. It's like, what does this have anything to do with it? There was one, and I didn't even read the full story for context, but it was, I can't remember, it was in 1st or 2nd Samuel. But there was a thing, it was talking about a king dealing gently despite being a king. And I was like, that's kind of our duty, our responsibility. Like our dad has given us this authority and this power, and we deal gently with it.
Because he was
We're not
gentle.
here to destroy. Yeah, we're not here. We can dismantle plans and stuff, sure. But in that moment, it's like, no, jump to the gun. That's what it means to bless people.
Yeah.
Speak that over them, because, and what comes with that is the plans will be dismantled. Things will happen. But you're skipping to the end of the line, you know?
So when you actually said 339, I instantly thought of Jeremiah 33:9.
Okay.
And it says, "And this city shall be to me a name of joy, a praise and a glory before all the nations of the earth, who shall hear of all the good that I do for them.
Yeah.
They shall fear and tremble because of all the good and all the prosperity I provide for it."
Yeah.
And it made me think, like, you're being a true watchman over the city.
Yeah.
You're being a true watchman.
That's even like the hour too.
Yep. Yeah. You are actually stepping into your rightful authority, where even though you've seen things that are trying to stir it up, you just took ownership of the city. And it's like, no, this city will be appraised.
Yeah.
And I will see it to be that as I bless you.
Absolutely.
Because then these people that you've just interceded for will see the goodness of God.
Right.
They will actually hear of the good that God's going to do for them.
Yeah.
And it will be because of this moment in time where he woke you up. Like, that's what it made me think of. I was like, yo.
That's incredible.
That's a beautiful example of what it means to step into your authority.
Yeah.
Of what it means to, like, flipping. That's how you flip something on its head.
Right. Yeah.
That's so dope, man.
Well, that's an excellent segue into what we spake about.
Hey, what was the other story?
Oh, he woke me up at 3 this morning.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just another thought. This one was like more of a personal one. It was just like a little tiny nitpicky thing. And we dealt with it. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, thanks for waking me up at 3. But it wasn't like a groggy, like, oh, I'm ready to go back to sleep. And I tried. It was pleasant. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I guess it's time to get up.
Yeah. You just knew.
Got up, went and ate some eggs and made some coffee.
Nice.
And I went and just I came to work and started these little printers in here and did some things. And I went to the gym and ran. That's when all the healthy people go, was way early in the morning.
Yeah.
And I went home and came back here.
It's a busy day.
But it was like and that one thing he brought to my mind, it reminds me of the good old days when I used to wake up at 3 in the morning and drive that 45-minute drive and spend time with him. It's like a night on the town with my dad, or a morning on the, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember he used to speak to me about that, like the watchman, that hour, that 3 to 4 hour. And I remember him giving me that, like, feeling that responsibility of, like, everyone's asleep right now and I get to cover them.
Yep.
And who knows, people may have dreams, but it's like I get to cover all these people.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it's been like. It's almost been like hey, remember this? Let's do that again. Just maybe one night. It was fun. Just driving down the road.
It's so sweet. There's something, it's funny. You know, with Kelsey and I starting to work out in the mornings. Well, before
she is consistent.
Got sick.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that she's been so consistent.
Oh, yeah.
But there's something so special about driving around early in the morning.
There is.
And nobody's up yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of low key. I was driving to work out one day and I was just like, man, I've missed this.
Yeah.
Because I used to have to drive. We had class at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
in Chandler, but we lived in Tyler.
Ooh,
And so, I'm being on the road at like 4:00 in the morning. You're like, yeah, special.
There's something about it. Yeah.
There's like an energy in the air.
Yeah, there is. That's cool.
Which, they've always said like 3 to 5 is like the witching hour.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but it is.
Oh, yeah. 3. Yeah, for sure. It's always been the...
It's like when all the witches do all their things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're going to do it, we could just join them. You know, like join them in the same time hour to put all the blessings out that they try and curse.
Right. Why not? There's something fun about it.
Okay, so go into the segue.
Well, I was saying like what you were talking about, stepping into authority and speaking life in people and like businesses and things like that. Kind of what we talked about yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, last night on the phone.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. Time is nothing now. It's just a
fluid
It's just
continuum.
One long day that gets dark, gets light again.
That's true.
But yeah, we've both kind of been experiencing almost like it's the Lord's tapestry, or I named this at like 4 a.m. I named this the Mosaic.
Oh, that's
because
funny.
that's kind of what it feels like. All these different pieces that fall into place, and then when you see them, it's like you feel it, and it's like, okay, like that is the Lord there.
Yep.
But we always have this. I've always had this mindset of like we're to like take over the city, the embassy of heaven type deal.
Yeah.
And it's like all the systems and religious things are about to get, bumped out the way.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have like recently discovered is that there are pockets of good guys
Scattered everywhere throughout the city.
Everywhere. So it's not us against the world.
Yep.
It's almost like discovering the Lord in all these places. And then it's like tying your shoes.
Yeah.
It's like you get the knot tied, and then when you tighten it, it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
You can run. But it's been feeling like that. And I had a meeting yesterday that felt that way. Just different things. So, but you've experienced it.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. I keep seeing it like it's a net.
Yeah.
But it's like these divine connections keep coming up out of flipping nowhere.
Yeah.
Where it looks like, to me, the net is where the places that they intersect.
Yeah.
And it's finding places in these divine connections of places where you can actually enhance each other's businesses in these divine connections. And I went smashing on that because we talk about it on here a lot, but I went smashing on the competition thing.
Good.
With quote unquote competitors here.
Like face to face.
Yeah, face to face I did.
Cool.
And it was not abrasive. It was not anything like that. But it was like the Lord set up these meetings.
Yeah.
So like I'll give you kind of full context.
Yeah.
But we went to this triathlon, this mindfulness triathlon.
Yeah.
Well, they had accidentally messed up how our booths were going to be. And we ended up right next to one of our direct competitors, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm using that as a business term, not as what I actually think.
Yeah, yeah.
But they do literally almost everything. They do the new calm, they do the compression, they do massage therapy.
Yeah.
Also, Steven's one of his best friends is the owner.
Oh, interesting.
Well, there's like 3 owners on that one, but there's always been this weird energy, this weird, every time I've thought about them, every time I've prayed for them, it feels that way. And for a long time I was like, well, maybe that's just me, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, one of the owners kind of made a comment and I was like, here it is. So I was like, hey, I just want you to know we have no competition with you. Like we actually love what y'all do.
Yeah.
We want to find a place that we can bridge together. And like y'all do specific floats and we do IVs. So maybe we can do trades or something like not for owners, but like if people come to Native, they can also go to Relax Lab and have some kind of a partnership there. And when I was like, hey, we don't believe in competition. We don't believe in We're not trying to even steal your clientele.
Yeah.
We want to catch as many people into this health arena as possible.
Yeah.
We want everybody to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell it was like,
yeah.
Like mine couldn't fully grasp it, but you could feel the heart in it.
Yeah.
And it was like one of them, she was like, okay, I can kind of catch this.
Even talking about it does something, it feels like.
Totally. I brought that sucker right into the light.
Good.
Like I confronted it of like, yo, that's just not what we do.
Yeah.
And you could feel that she softened to the fact that I acknowledged what kind of felt like the elephant.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
That is cool.
Then another competitor literally asked for a meeting with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's weird, whatever. Well, they came in and they recognized Laurel because Laurel used to go to them all the time for prenatal yoga.
Uh-huh.
And when the lady walked in, she goes, oh my gosh, we didn't realize it was you. And Laurel was like, yeah, dude, I felt like they were trying to come scope us out.
Yeah.
It kind of had a weird vibe.
Uh-huh.
Well, as I was showing them around, I started casting the vision of what the Lord had told us about this place, about Native. And then I hit again. I was like, yo, I just want you to know, we're not trying to compete with y'all.
Yeah.
We actually think that we can enhance each other in some way.
Yeah.
There's a creative work around here where we're not stealing each other's clients. We're enhancing both clients.
Yeah. You're enhancing the community.
Yeah.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, there's something special here. And then when I started sharing about the dreams that I had from the Lord, you could tell that it lit her up.
Yeah.
Because the other owner, because she was like, I had something similar, but 12 years ago. The Lord told me 12 years ago, very something similar. And like, it was like, she started to realize she's not alone.
Yeah. And
then I had another meeting with a gym in town.
Yeah.
And kind of trying to figure out how that thing was going to work. And you could feel the tangible. And then I went on a real rant with him, but I was like, we're not trying to, have any kind of competition with anybody else.
Yeah.
But 2, we're not even trying to be elite, where it's like, I'm just going to grab a consortium of us over here and then everybody else is over there. Like I told him,
a church or something.
Totally. Yeah. I was like, we're not doing that either.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that kind of, he was like, well,
yeah,
but what's going to happen? But I was like, listen, you have a specific personality that's going to reach specific people.
Yes.
And I have a specific personality that's going to reach a specific group of people.
Yeah.
And that way you just touched 15 people and I just touched 15 people that wouldn't have ever come in.
Right.
Because they wouldn't have worked with you. And your people wouldn't have worked with me. But like we can find commonality or common ground on it. And when I explained it like that, he was like, oh yeah, we just want people to get healthy. We just want people to thrive.
That's it.
And it was like,
it's the heart of the matter.
Bringing it back to the center.
Yes.
And so it's been cool. That's been
excellent.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah.
Like these connections, I'm like,
that's even,
I didn't go search them out either. That's what's cool.
Yes. That's awesome. And then, you have all these YouTube channels with formulas on how to do things, but this is now in my library of the elephant in the room. Let's put it in the light immediately. The competition, like, hey, we're not here to do this.
Yeah.
The way it hits people and like throws them off is hilarious. But that's almost like, okay, that's in the formula now.
Mm-hmm.
There even is one. It's like, if that's there,
pop it.
We don't do this. Yeah. That's healthy.
I think
that's changing the
is.
culture.
Yeah.
It's changing the culture of business.
So
all of it.
Yeah, I was listening to this guy. I really have been enjoying him a lot. His name's Dr. Gaber Mate.
Okay.
And he's got an excellent interview on Joe Rogan. If anybody wants to go watch it, you should. It's fascinating. They do talk about psychedelics, so,
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Be careful, because, he's very much for ayahuasca.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
It was a part of his story of unraveling a lot of his own healing. So. Yeah. Whatever. But I just wanted to give, since this is We do talk about the Lord. I just wanted to give
we'll
a little
talk about ayahuasca if we need to.
Well, that's okay right now. But what I thought was brilliant that he said, he was talking about how we are designed as humans to live in communities of like 200 people. Like that is where it seems that all civilization thrives, is when we're in small pockets of 200 people. You can't know more than 150 people at any time. Not really know them. You can't really connect to anybody more than 150 people.
Wow.
And they've done a ton of this study.
Oh.
This isn't just him. This is like...
Yeah.
And he's talking about communities, and he was like, but it's when these tribes, if you will, of 200 people bind themselves together.
Yeah.
That you can see such synchronicity in people. And he was talking about that competition ruins it.
Yeah.
Competition will break apart the very thing that we're designed for.
Yeah.
And he was like, the culture that we live in is so counterproductive. Our entire lives, Western civilization, is about isolation.
Yeah.
Your family, right?
Yep.
It's just like, oh yeah, my family is my
world, my life.
Yeah, but even just like me, my husband, and my kid, right?
Yeah.
And we live family very isolated.
Yes,
we
that's
don't live in communals.
Yeah.
We don't live like where your kids can go play with somebody else that's just like their parents.
Right.
You know, like there's not this shared responsibility.
Right.
But he was saying that the reason that we have so many issues, so many like codependency, so much like this competition drive is from a place of wound. It's from a place of feeling inadequate because we haven't bound ourselves together with people yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I was listening to him talk about it, and he says it way better than I even did, but I was like, that's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
In our businesses. We should be binding together as communities in our niches.
Yeah.
We should be finding common ground where everybody can live on. You know, like I was thinking about like the pipeline with the work hub, right?
Yeah.
The was it called work hub?
That's what it once was. It was a thing, yeah.
Yeah. But right, so you had to absorb them because their business couldn't stay open. And it's like, well,
tried to, yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, what if we actually just started creating more space and more connection?
Well, we lift one another and sail a ship. Yeah. Together.
Because then you'll be able to catch more people with your net.
Yeah.
You'll be able to create more impact.
Well, that's what you said earlier. That like that's the common ground is like with you guys is health. Healthy people. Healthy city.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's something about, and I'm going for people's minds, I'll be honest, because I was talking to one of the gym owners, and he was talking about, you know, we have a really hard time, you know, working out with people because we spend an hour with them, but then, you know, they leave and then they come back and they're still where they're at in terms of like there's no mental growth.
Right.
They just stay in this cyclical cycle. And I was like, well, that's where we come in.
Yeah.
I was like, with a wellness protocol, we want to help break people's cycles.
Yeah.
We want people to like expand and know, why do you do the things you're doing? Why are you working out?
Yeah.
Are you motivated by feeling inadequate?
Yeah.
Are you motivated by feeling like you're trying to prove something?
Yeah.
If those are your motivations, you stay cyclical.
Yeah.
If you're like, I want to push my body to its prime, I want to redline it, I want to see how much my body's capable of.
Yeah.
Yo, when you switch that flip that switch, working out doesn't come this, oh, I got to work out to medicate myself, or I have to work out to feel good about myself. It's like, no, dude, you already feel good and you're doing the workout as an expression.
It's fun. It's an adventure. Yeah.
Yes, it is an adventure.
Yeah.
Anyways, when I said that, he was like, oh, yeah. And then he actually admitted, he was like, yeah, we don't really have time for that. He was like, and that makes sense that you say that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have time to walk through people's mental stuff.
Yeah.
as I'm just training them for an hour.
Yeah.
And then I'm like trying to create their programs. And I was like, yeah, but you shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
That shouldn't be your load. We should share the load.
Yeah. Tee them up. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like.
And it makes them 2 times healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they become wildly unstoppable.
Yes.
And I was like, and then they actually start living.
Yeah.
They don't just get to the end of their life.
Yeah.
Because that's what most people do.
Yeah.
Like they're just looking for ways to survive. They're looking for ways to, can I take this quick supplement that's going to make me finally have the energy that I've always wanted? And it's like, or you could take a step back and be like, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
Why am I like let's grow out of this.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just find something else, find another supplement.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that was a long tangent, but
no, that's good.
It's my point of everything, of my long rant, is that it's so important to bind together with people.
Yeah.
And find ways to enhance one another.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got a beautiful part to play.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to do everybody's part, it causes things to be muted.
Yeah.
It causes things to be less than what they really, truly, beautifully, colorfully could be.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
like
I think of like Relax Lab, right? That was one of the businesses that I got to talk to, which is just cool. Like I love what they do.
Yeah.
But they have the absolute best prenatal massage therapist in all of East Texas.
Cool.
Well, Steven, we have the best sports massage therapist in all of East Texas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, we shouldn't be competing. Those are 2 vastly different clientele.
Yeah, it's an incredible service to provide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't we complement each other?
Right.
Versus just trying to snatch one another's clients. It's like, that don't make no sense.
It's like, who's got the sports problems? Who's got the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you outsource them.
Yeah.
And if you live with a scarcity mentality or a lack mentality, then that's why you'll try and harbor people like, no, I need them over here because I'm not going to be making my bills.
Right.
And I think there is the element, especially when you own a business, you get hyper focused on the money.
Yeah.
And money is good.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-money.
Right.
I just think that when that's the ultimate focus, you get into competition.
Right.
If that's the ultimate focus, then you're getting into territorialism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
When have you seen that in here or with people when they're driven by selfishness or they're driven by territorialism? And what fruit have you seen be birthed out of that?
Oh, that's gross. It's very immature and it's very shallow and brittle. Just like backbiting. I see a lot of backbiting, just like children. I've heard multiple times. I've heard like there's been like a schism between 2 people.
Define backbiting for me.
Okay, well, I have an example. These are the people I prayed for too the other night. This is an aspect of it. So there's this group, this person here. They had a schism. I hear about it. This person's not doing what they're supposed to. These people aren't paying me anything. And it's like, and I hear, so the person that's apparently not doing their stuff right is like, hey, I'm working, like just busting my ass for these people. I haven't seen a dime. I'm like, okay, that's messed up. And in my mind, I'm just like, yeah, that sucks. I was like, well, leave. Don't do that. Well, then a couple weeks later, other people come up. Man, that person sucks. Like I would never hire this person ever. Like just trash talking this person. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I already know you possibly may not even be paying this person that is in their mind is really trying. It's just, is it dissonance? Is that like a disconnect? But it's also like, it just splits people makes enemies. It creates enemies, makes people your enemy. Mm-hmm. And then imagine navigating. And then all these types of people, they go to all these networking events. Let's go show up to those. And then, oh, that person's here. Like, don't do business with that person. They won't pay you. Or like, It injects it. It's like a venom.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a poison. Which if it was a maturity, I mean, there's just a couple different sides to it. People need to pay people for doing things. But on the flip side, if somebody's not doing a good job,
you should communicate it.
And then, like, I've always thought, like, if I ever had to fire anybody, I would have to help them find something else before it happened. I would have to find a place and help take care of them. I take care of people. I want to take care of people.
This is just a side tangent, but you said that, so it made me think of this. There was an individual that was working for us, and we knew it was time to go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't have the heart to fire. I don't have the heart to fire people.
Yeah.
I'll have hard conversations.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time firing people. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I don't.
Yeah. Who would?
Yeah. Heartless people. But,
yeah, right.
I'm just kidding. I shouldn't have said it like that. But,
I agreed with you.
Well, it's just kind of savage.
It's cold. You know, there are some cold people that do like doing that stuff.
Well, I started praying for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that I prayed for them, doors started opening for them.
Yeah.
That they felt pulled to go.
Good.
So they ended up even leaving on their own terms. I never had to fire them.
Good.
And it caused growth for both parties.
Yeah.
And that's happened multiple times.
Good.
There's one specific incident that I can think of that was like, yeah, that was 100% the Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
cool.
If you look to enhance people, everything works out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like for me, like even that story, the fruit is more destruction. It's more dissension.
Yeah.
There's unrest within both parties.
Yeah.
And it just
yeah, it's division. It's the enemy. It's darkness.
But I like it because it's like if you are struggling with something in your life, or you're like, I don't really know about what to do about this situation or that situation. It's like, look at the fruit of what you're currently doing.
Yeah.
Go examine what's happening. Like almost detach yourself from it and look at a third party kind of view.
Right.
And evaluate it. And it's like, okay, is this fruit producing goodness in me?
Yeah.
The other thing that this Dr. Gaber Mate said, I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. I could really be screwing it up. But he said, you have people that will respond with anger or aggression, right? Or quick-tempered, or more edgy or sarcastic, or, so you have that side of a person, but then you also have the really kind person, like the side of you that's kind and gentle and loving and like soft-hearted and wants to connect. And he said, think about your own person. So go in and internalize, when do you feel most like yourself? Is it when you're kind? Is it when you're being like lighthearted and connecting and laughing with your family? Or is it when you act in aggression?
Yeah.
Like when you're kind of like, or I'm flexing myself, or I'm like promoting myself, or I'm hustling, like how everybody says, like, I'm a hustler, baby. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah.
But like, think about it. When are you your most true self? When would you say you are?
I hope I am all the time.
Well, like, what would be your attributes? When you're like, yo, I'm fully in what I feel like is my true self.
Like when I'm making things with people.
Yeah, so you're like connecting, and there's like this joy of connection.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, dude. Well, why don't we foster that at all times?
Right.
Go look at the thing that like, of when you feel your most true self.
Right.
And then foster that in every single avenue of your life.
Yeah.
The spheres of your life, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think it's because everybody innately is kind and everybody is innately gentle.
Yeah.
I think all the aggression, all the everything else.
Right.
I know we talk about it like it's the tree of knowledge of good and evil or whatever, and the tree of life is what is life-giving.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I've been in like this introspective thing of like, what really pulls me? What really causes inspiration?
Yeah.
And actually be able to live from that.
Yeah. Right. Cool. Yeah, people, connecting with people, making things with people.
I love that.
Had a meeting yesterday. Yeah, I had a meeting yesterday. And I didn't initiate all this stuff. But there's like systems, health systems, school systems, all these things in place. And every time I think about them, I view them as real, I don't know if clinical is the word. It just makes me think of like waxy walls and bland, you know what I'm talking about? Every time I think of these like schools and stuff like that, I think of like, stale and robotic. And that's kind of been my experience with a lot of them. So I had a meeting with someone from a system representing one this week. And I remember yesterday I had the meeting yesterday morning. I told Kelsey, I was like, all right, because I always tell her my schedule and she keeps it on her calendar and she reminds me. And I was like, yeah, I got this meeting at, this time. She was like, oh, who's it with? I told her. And she was like, oh. It's like, yeah, it's probably going to be one of those stale, like just bland, anyways.
Lifeless,
yeah. And, man, some of them are so damn boring. Like, I'm like, no wonder. Like, I'm like, is this over yet? But that did not happen. Mm-hmm. And, I learned a little bit of a lesson that way. Even in those systems and stuff, you can't slap that feeling on everybody that, Anyways.
Generalizing.
Yes, can't do that. So this individual comes in and immediately just feels comfortable telling me about some family stuff, which is really cool. Really cool stuff. New parent. Hello. I'm like, congratulations. Incredible. I share some of my stuff, like my feelings of whenever I had, we had Kyla and stuff. And that alone just kind of kicked open the personality of it, the life, And so we get to talking about how we can benefit one another, which quickly turned into how do we benefit like our community and our people that we serve? How can we like lock arms and strengthen people? Like no strings attached.
Yeah.
That was both sides of it. I'm usually like...
Connect the net. How do we connect the net?
Yes. And this person was the same way. I could feel his heart. And I could see him as a leader in a system changing the structure, changing the culture of things,
Yeah.
And so we just talked about the students, some of the brilliant ideas, and we talked about like what we could do to highlight them and to inject personality and heart into the systems, which I told him about it.
I love it.
I was like, man, every time this comes up, or it involves like one of these places, it's like it feels stale and cold. And he agreed. He was like, yeah. He said, I know it. He said, it doesn't need to be that way. And it's just like, this just fell into my lap, this thing. And just really sweet, really cool, really just a breath of fresh air for me. And then even the Lord changing the grids in my mind, even more so. It's not the first time that this has happened, that I've stumbled upon somebody, one of the good guys who cares about people with no strings, who loves people. And you can feel it too, man. So cool. But yeah, that reestablished like, okay, the Lord has such a massive, it's a net, it's a web.
Yeah.
But it's so connected. And from what I've seen, I feel like we're only seeing glimpses of this, like the ones that are close, but I think it is just like everywhere. Agreed. I think it's going to spread.
100%.
And it's fun. It's opened up my hope. It's expanded my hope. Mm-hmm. So whenever I do go to something like, well, Why am I here? Like, there might be another little knot here.
Yeah.
Another point of connection. And like
cool.
uniting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is genius on his part. It's like, we could establish our own pure, clean things and just like go outward, or we can redeem everything. We can redeem the things that have been built.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a whole nother way of looking at things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, instead of like trying to destroy all the things that have been built, even the systems.
Yeah.
The Lord, the only system that fully needed to be destroyed was the one that he did.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, he would have destroyed all the other systems.
That's true.
Yeah. And it's like, what if our role is to actually go and put it back in its rightful place?
Yeah.
It's just not in its rightful.
Absolutely.
I think let's pretend that all these things, these entities, right? These businesses, these schools, these whatever, what if they're just not in their right mind yet?
Right. Like people.
Just like people.
Man, yeah.
And we're supposed to put them in their right mind.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, man.
And equip people.
Yep.
Equip leaders.
Empower the flip out of them.
Yes. That's it. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That's awesome.
It gets me so stirred up.
Yeah.
This is probably the most stirred up I've been about business, and I've been in a long time.
Yeah.
Because it feels right. It feels like, man, if I can cast the vision for people and then they attach their hope to it, they attach their heart to it.
Oh, yeah.
To where they don't feel alone, where they don't feel isolated, where they actually feel like they have people that are also wanting like-minded people who are wanting to transform, to bring life and color back to things.
Yeah.
It makes people unstoppable.
Yeah, being a strength to one another.
Yeah.
Rather than a hindrance or a, Yeah.
And not to where we're like territorial or even like elite or like, like, oh, well, these people over here.
Yeah, not at all.
Or like, oh, I will only like connect with you if you're going to be in my group. It's like, that's stupid too.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
We're not trying to create clubs. I don't give a flip about a freaking club.
No, not about that.
But I do want to change all of East Texas.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a mild goal I have.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of it. I do believe that all these things can be redeemed.
Yeah.
And prosperous in the way they're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Man.
What if we were all created to set everything right?
Mm-hmm.
Every system.
Yeah.
Every person. Every tree. Every beetle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All of it.
All of it. Set everything right. Every person. In our family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No stone unturned.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like there have been a lot of moments, a lot of situations that keep coming up that's like, and I think it's just because it's the grace of God that's like, hey, this moment I've empowered you to flip the script.
Yeah.
Like, if people are coming at you and even being kind of wily, like squirrely even.
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to take the bait? Or are you going to be like the Lord who even went after the Pharisees and Sadducees who were constantly spitting at him? Yeah. It's like he had such a heart for the Pharisees and Sadducees just as much as he did the sinners.
Right.
These outcasts. It's like he would always put himself right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we have that opportunity. If we really fully knew how empowered we were, or even just honestly a sliver of how empowered we were, we would go sit ourselves in the middle of stuff.
Yeah.
Like family drama.
Yeah.
We would be like, let me say something.
Yeah. Because
I'll have the word of the Lord that will make you feel so seen.
Yeah.
And so known.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like we have the ability to prick people to their heart.
Yeah.
To cause something to come alive.
Yeah.
But because eternity's in every single person's heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're just calling that thing forth.
Right.
And it may take 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But it's always going to surround their life.
Right.
But anyways.
It's good.
If you could sum up the thing that you really feel like the Lord is establishing in you right now, kind of going into the holiday season, closing out the year, what would you say is the biggest thing for you right now?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he is, and he's been doing this for a long time. This is what I feel now. And it kind of falls in line with like my meeting yesterday, things that have been building and things that are I see happening. I think he's sweeping out grids.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about in our last episode, the hierarchies and stuff. I think he's sweeping out all of those things, the absolutes and the hierarchies and the titles and all that stuff, to where I can completely, wholly, and freely navigate people.
Yeah.
And speak life into even big situations, into people, and to be so confident in it that no matter how silly it may seem to the world, it clicks with people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they can feel it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it right now. And it's working. I can feel it. I can feel the difference.
What do you feel like the Lord is?
And also,
yeah,
empowering other people all the same.
Yeah. How do you feel like you flow the best in terms of empowering people?
Really just talk about it. Talk about like the things we're talking about, like smashing the competition.
Yeah. I
believe it. And so when you believe something and you talk about it, makes it real. And then, yeah, I let like encouraging people, letting them know that they're not capped, or letting them know their potential. Like, and being conscious of like even reminding them of it, placing it in front of them frequently, or, consistently. And dismantling the grids, I guess, is the way he does it for me. I do it for other people, or I want to anyways. But what about you? What you got going on in this? I don't like the word season.
You don't?
No.
I just like the holiday season, so.
I do too.
I love Christmas.
I don't. I like the feeling of it.
There's something magical about this season.
There is, yeah. I like that feeling of it.
Yeah. Zach and I went on our first date during this season.
That's sweet. Did y'all get like a sleigh and some horses or something?
No. 7 years ago, actually.
Okay.
That was a whole thing. We actually started dating during Hanukkah.
Okay.
Which even that is a whole thing. But so Hanukkah is actually the time of conception.
Yeah.
Something that is being conceived. Yeah. Much of my life, a lot of my stuff is prophetic in my life. Yeah. Like prophetic timelines and I always, anyways. But yeah, it was when the Lord was conceived.
Yeah.
He was not born on Christmas Day, but
yeah, right.
He was conceived.
Yeah.
Which I think is brilliant. But I feel there's multiple things.
Yeah.
I feel like there's certain roots that the Lord is really going after for me, like ways that I've lived on a subconscious level.
Yeah.
That has caused me to disqualify myself.
Yeah.
That has caused me, like, especially in relationships with people that I feel like I should trust.
Yeah.
Those were quotation marks. I have like this, I don't know, self-sabotaging mind that will kind of come in.
Yeah.
Where I will start to become suspicious. And I become suspicious of, legitimately people I should trust.
Yeah.
Like if there's any wavering inconsistencies, like, anyways, but I feel the Lord really establishing my trust with Him.
Yeah.
In realizing that people who are inconsistent can't hurt me.
Yeah.
Because I've had this mind for a long time that inconsistent, if there's any kind of inconsistencies,
yeah,
they will reject me. People will reject me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like self-fulfilling or whatever, but that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have and I didn't realize this, but I've been living my life on a subconscious level of, if you're inconsistent, I almost have the expectation that you're going to reject me.
Interesting. Yeah.
And so then it ends up happening. It's like, then they definitely do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe it's actually what I've been like living out. Anyways, he's really been dealing with some self-conscious stuff or like subconscious stuff. And I went into a memory that I had. I've never in my life had this memory, thought, whatever.
Yeah.
But I went into a moment when I was 3 years old when this thing really came knocking on my door.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I didn't know everything that had gone down during that time. Later, I found out that those things really did happen. Anyways, but it is to live. It was from living in that place that like I will always be neglected.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what it looks like. Marlia will always get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
But that's what I feel like the Lord is establishing, is like security in my own person to not become suspicious.
Yeah.
Because I can normally do that for people that are at a distance from me.
Yeah.
You know, but my husband, other people that I feel like I should be able to trust, I haven't been able to. And so, yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Which I think directly goes into why I'm having to deal with that.
Yeah.
With the vision that I have for these businesses and stuff. Because it's like, if I go in with suspicion later.
Yeah.
You know, because maybe that's not an issue right now, but if I'm not dealing with it in the deepest core of you, it will bleed out.
Yeah.
I like that Daniel says this, that anything in the subconscious is going to try and reach over your shoulder and try and steer your car.
Yeah,
At some point.
Right.
Something's going to get steered. And so I think it's so vastly important to deal with those things that come up and try and steer you.
Yeah.
And try and, drive your own car.
Yeah, right.
And I think sometimes we can get into like, well, no, like, it's not that big of a deal. Or we try and dismiss stuff. Or we're like, yeah, that's just not an issue. That was a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, dude, take a moment and look at that. Look at anything that isn't in constant, consistent nature of the Lord.
Yeah. It's like if it comes in your sphere of vision, like, yeah, examine it.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
And there's growth. Because I think we're all growing.
Right.
I think a big thing we're all growing in, everybody in the world, because you kind of look at what's popular on YouTube or go look at whatever, is like emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
It's like actually how to be emotionally safe people.
Yeah.
And have compassion and have empathy and be able to connect to people heart to heart.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you're dealing with all of your trauma, which I wholeheartedly believe we all have it.
Yeah.
If we deal with those things, you become more whole.
Yeah.
And then you're not looking at how can I protect myself in certain situations or even subconsciously.
Yeah.
But that was a lot. But yeah, that's what I feel like the Lord is really establishing within me.
Cool.
It's like, really, it's letting go of suspicion.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry flippin' Christmas.
That's good.
Yeah.
He's always doing something.
Yeah.
It's like this. That's the net that he's dismantling or untying, Those little knots. The bad net, It's cool. Always. Yeah. Sometimes he jumps back and forth and like loosen this one up a little bit and go to this one. And it's just so precise.
Yeah, because I think this happens too. If you just go after just one thing all the time, things would become imbalanced. Think about like unscrewing something.
Yeah.
If it's got like 4 corners and
you're supposed to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you should be doing it like all at the same time.
Across the board.
It's just so sweet of the Lord to like It's like a little bit of here and a little bit of here. But if you, the mosaic, zoom out, see, okay, what are all the things that the Lord is touching?
Mm-hmm.
What is all coming together here?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing that is happening is the Lord is addressing all things that hamper or squash unity.
Yeah. Right.
Within people.
Yeah.
Whether it's like self-protect or, whatever, like old ways of relating with people.
Yeah.
I just think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
The way he's doing things.
Yeah, it is. You can trust him. He's very precise. He's sharp.
I had a moment. I almost felt like I was out of my mind when all of like the sickness and all that happened.
Yeah.
But I realized that my suspicion of people, and I had to be brutally honest with the Lord. I was like, I am so suspicious of him.
Yeah.
I was like, you should have been, this was me like on a full purge level.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, you should have been there for me.
Yeah.
With all these memories and all these things, like you should have been there.
Yeah.
And it was like this pain that got purged that I didn't even know I held that grid towards him. Because it really isn't about the people.
Yeah.
Like you may be suspicious towards people or you may be like whatever, but it's really not the people. It is your view of the Lord.
Yeah.
That you've then projected onto other people. And anyways, it was a sweet moment where I grabbed that thing by the throat.
Yeah.
But I was so utterly transparent with him that, and it didn't lift.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like I felt like Jacob wrestling with the angel of the Lord. Whoa.
Sorry. Was that loud? I tried to cover
so
it up.
Loud.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. No, not really. It was loud, but no, but it feels like wrestling with the Lord, like with Jacob. It's like, which I finally felt like I did have breakthrough, but it was like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
Where it was like, no, I'm going to freaking stay in this thing. I'm going to figure out.
Gonna hold on.
Yeah. It was just like what you were saying though, your word for Wednesday about just having like the word of the Lord, letting the fire of the Lord come and singe every single thing and hold the gold that's coming.
Yeah,
hold
gold, everything up to the fire. Apply it all to the fire. Yeah.
Yeah, apply everything to the fire.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I got to do. And it happened. It was for 4 days though. 3 or 4 days.
Sorry. Good.
But I even realized that, like, I judge time limits of things.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the society that we live in. That was better. That was way better.
I faced the wall. I'm out of coffee.
Oh,
so
that's
now
what
it's
it
drying
is.
out.
Okay, well, I'll stop talking in a second.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Rejected. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Take it that way.
I'm totally
put
kidding.
That in the fire.
Oh man. I don't even know what I was saying, but
no, you were on something.
I know. I got distracted.
Yeah. Wonder why.
Oh man.
No, we're not going to lose this. It was the fire you were applying.
Oh, yeah. So just like with everything.
Yeah.
I realized that I put time limits on things.
That's it. Yeah.
And I realized that I had this expectation that if he didn't immediately come through about emotional issues, like for me, most things are emotional in nature. Like physical things, I'm like, whatever. Like the Lord's going to come through physically for like money or whatever. Like I don't. But for me, it's like the emotional, because I think that's where I was damaged the most as a child.
Yeah.
But I also think it's one of my greatest strengths. So that's why it got squandered. But I realized that I put a time limit, that it's like, if you don't show up immediately and give me a word, then I've done something wrong.
Huh.
Then like, I'm like, this one's on me. Like it's not on, like it's, you did everything on your end and I'm just the idiot that's not getting it yet.
Yeah.
And it like becomes this like self-hatred narrative. But But that I realized it was because I hold an expectation that I think he's not going to come through for me.
Yeah.
Or that, again, like I'll miss something. But I just realized like how much you can't even put a time limit on him.
Yeah.
Because the timing of the Lord is perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect in all of its ways.
It's like the response in those moments is like, I know you're good and I know I'm not stupid.
Yeah. You didn't make me to be stupid.
Yeah. Right. And he's the precision one. You're never missing anything. Like just,
yeah.
Just know that. It's almost like maybe that's part of the growth of the process.
100%.
Like you're looking over here, but like right here, it's like, you're not an idiot.
Well, that was the thing that like, I guess it was like 4 days in, the Lord literally was like, well, just meditate on one thing. Like stop looking for all these answers. Just sit with one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like literally started meditating on Psalm 23.
Yeah.
I like went and chewed on it. And I was like, oh, duh.
Yeah.
Like it says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, all that is a projection of something.
Yeah.
And it's like, even in the places of projection, I will not fear.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have to fear anything that's being projected at you.
Right.
Because anything that's being projected at you, or even if it is coming out, those are false projections that you've lived under.
Right.
It's like, you don't have anything to fear because the Lord's going to consume it.
Yeah.
He's going to consume it. He's going to eat it up. Like, anyways, it was beautiful. It was beautiful of like this letting go of even expectation.
Yeah.
False expectation, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But if you can't tell, I haven't talked to people lately.
Been extinct.
I get talking.
No, that's good.
Like, I haven't been around people.
That's good.
Life.
Well, we got to catch up. We missed a week, so we got to.
It's true.
Make up for it.
Poor little illnesses.
Yeah.
Well, do you got anything else?
No, I don't think so. Got a full day ahead.
For real. Today's
festive
packed.
day ahead. I don't know what it's going to look like.
I don't know.
I don't care. It'll be fun.
Oh. All right. See you next time.